Welcome to the world of Tekton, algo trading brought to you by CCI traders. In this session I'm going to show you how to use Tekton algo trading and get the best of it for your trading. I'm not going to teach you how to trade, and I'm not going to teach you how indicators work, but I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about Tekton and how to use it and build some really clever and intuitive algorithms. Tekton was created 3 years ago, and we created it to give algo trading to the masses. The main bodies that used algo trading up till then were banks, and they'd spent millions of dollars on infrastructure in creating vastly superior computer systems that would allow them to trade algorithmically, or in layman's terms, automated. For the retail trader like you and I, algo trading was something that was either costly to get into or time consuming, as we would have had to have had coding strategies coded for us and pay someone to code them for us, which took time, sometimes days and weeks on end. Tekton Algo Trader was created to allow retail traders to algorithmically trade without the need to code or to have coding, or to even have the knowledge of how to code. And as you're going to see in this session, Tekton is very simple to use. Using a simple drop-down menu, you now, as a CCI trader client, have access to the world's most innovative algo platform out there. Let me show you how to access Tekton through the CCI Traders website. All you need to do is go to the CCI Traders website, which is ccitraders.net, and click the auto trading area here. Click there. A video will play. So pause the video, and then you can move down to the area where we have the ability to log into Tekton. If you haven't yet got a Tekton live account, please click here. That will mean that you will be able to open an account with all the new normal identity requirements, and CCI will send you an account number and login for you to use to live trade. Once you have that, you're going to need to fund your account with a minimum of $300. It's a minimum of $300 deposit to be able to use Tekton algo trading for free. Once you have your account number and you have funded it with $300, or you already have an account with $300 in it, you connect to Tekton trading here using this little link here. Click there, and that will then take you to the CCI Tekton portal, where you can log in and start to build some super classy, innovative algorithms. The username or the trading account number here is the same account number as your CCI Traders account, and the password here is the same password. So you use the same account number or username to log into Tekton as you would to the CCI Trader platform, and exactly the same password as well. Remember, your passwords are all case sensitive, so if you've got a lowercase character, you need to insert it as a lowercase character in both Tekton and your CCI Trader platform. But once you've actually put in your username and your account number and log in here, you click login, you'll get a welcome risk warning, which is a standard disclaimer across the trading industry. Click OK, and you are now in to Tekton. Now you are logged into Tekton, let me show you around the platform. The back button here is the button that you should use at any time you wish to go back, and not the back button on your browser. This back button allows you to stay within Tekton at all times. By using this back button, sometimes you can cause yourself to log out of Tekton. This is the back button to use. The screen you see is the home screen, which is called My Strategies. The Tekton logo, and this area here which displays your account number. Notice the account number here is the same as the account number I used to log in to the CCI Traders platform and to Tekton, and it's a live account. That means it's a real live account. These three lines here, if you click them, take you to change the language. Currently the language is set to English, but it's also available in Russian and Polish and other languages to follow. You also have Tekton training, so you can repeat the training you're doing. A link here. And you also have our community, which is here, where you can join our Tekton forum to share ideas and get strategy ideas here as well. Here you can just simply log out. Let's go back, and we're back onto our home screen called My Strategies. Any strategy, or from now on we'll call algorithm, that you create will be listed on this home screen. You have a maximum of 25 strategies that can be created in any one user environment. The number of strategies that you have in existence will be displayed here. In this case it's number of 5. And you have them listed here down the left hand side, either with the number of the strategy that you've created or the name of the strategy if you've chosen to save it with a name. More on that later. Notice the color of this little tab. We have the draft strategy. A draft strategy is a strategy that has been created but has not yet been set to run live or has not been stopped from running live. It is a strategy that will need to go further, will need to be set to run live. It's in its draft state. A strategy or an algorithm with the word stopped means that this is an algorithm that was actually running live but has now been stopped. You can start and stop algorithms at any time you wish. But this one was one that was set up and has now been stopped. And the third state is this, which is running in green. Notice the colors: grey for draft, red for stopped, green for running. That means that this particular strategy, with whatever these conditions are, and we'll go into the strategy shortly, is actually running live, is in the marketplace, is set up so whenever the conditions are met that you've created within this strategy, Tekton will place the trades for you. In a moment we'll go inside one of these strategies to show you around. But there are other areas I'd like to show you before we commence. We have the Date Started tab. So here you can show all of the algorithms you are running or you have within Tekton, or you can show the ones that are just running, the ones that have just stopped, or the ones that have just in draft state, using this little drop down menu here. As standard, I leave that to all. You can sort the order that they appear. Date started, profit and loss, or the default view. The default view is as you would have found it at the beginning. You can also search for strategies in here. So if you know the strategy you're looking for and you've got a long list of say 20 or 30 here, in this box here you can type the number or the name of your strategy. So if you go here, strategy 4, it will take you to strategy 4. Delete that and you go back to your default setting. Here we have create new strategy. So if we want to create a new strategy, we would click that button and that will show you a screen where you can create a new algorithm. And in a moment, I'm going to show you how to do that. Import. Import is very useful. Import allows you to import a strategy from another version of Tekton or another user of Tekton. If you use the question mark here, it gives you an important help window to tell you how it works. Paste the code in here to import the algorithms and risk settings that make up a strategy elsewhere. If you're getting started, head over to the Tekton community for some great ideas. So what you can do, and I'll show you how to do this now, is go to here, the 3 white lines, head over to the community by clicking this link here, and go to strategies, and there you can get some code and import that code into here. And that will import the strategy that you have just selected from the forum. It's very simple. Once you've done that, it will then create the strategy window for you so that you can actually then test that for yourself or let it run for yourself as well. Creating algorithms on Tekton could not be simpler. What you are doing is you are writing a condition or a line or a sentence that is the resulting algorithm that Tekton recognizes as the instruction to trade. Let me explain what I mean and then show you how we do it. Let's say, for example, we want to create an algorithm that every time the moving average crosses, for example here, to the upside, or here to the downside, we have 2 moving averages on here, a 50 and a 200, we wish Tekton to place the trade for us. So we would effectively capitalize on this move and effectively capitalize on this move that's currently taking place. If we go back into the past and see whenever these things have happened before, you can see we've got a big move there, and when it crossed below, the last time it crossed below, we had a big move here. Now we're not necessarily going to be in front of our computer screen when these scenarios happen, especially when we think that we've got more than one currency pair. That's just on euro dollar on a 15-minute time frame. So having the capability of creating an algorithm that will pick the trades for us 24 hours a day is so useful. Let me show you now how we get to the state of getting the coding into Tekton in a way that it will place the trades for us. So if we go to Tekton Algo Trading, go to our new strategy window here and click Create New Strategy. This is the first time we've seen the new strategy window. And we have 3 areas to the window. We have, first of all, the algorithm itself, which at the moment is blank. The risk settings are here, so we can trade size effectively. With Tekton, you can trade anything from 0.01 CFDs up to 100 CFDs, just like you do with CCI Traders manual trading. But make sure you put in here the correct risk sizing. Later we'll do risk sizing together and show you how we can do that using the trade tool on our website. The trade stop loss here, this is where you would place the number of pips you wish to use for the trading strategy you are about to create. So the algorithm has a stop loss for each individual trade and a take profit for each individual trade here. It's that simple. Let's put in here, for example, 25 pips, and let's put in here, say, 65 pips. So we're going to create a coded strategy, and in a moment I'm going to show you how simple it is to code it, with a stop loss for each trade as 25 pips and a take profit of 65 pips. Straight to the right hand side here, euro dollar, or whatever instrument you wish to use for this particular trading strategy. We're going to use euro dollar, and the candle period, the time period on the chart you've been looking at. If we looked at the chart again, we can see it's 15 minutes. So we put 15 minutes in here. Now, the last section to show you in the risk settings is your strategy drawdown or strategy take profit. Now, what this allows you to do is it allows you to put into a situation where Tekton will stop trading for you if you reach certain targets or parameters. And this is a unique feature for you, the trader, to prevent you from losing excessively or prevent you from winning money and winning trades but then losing more further trades. It will stop your system at a time when you have asked it to. So for example, if you are in a position where you want to no longer be in a position where you go below, say, 20 losing trades in a row, or a net period of 20 losing trades, 20 times 25 is 500. You could put 500 in the drawdown. That means that if it ever got to a state where your trading strategy got to a 500 pip net loss, it would stop trading for you until you restarted it. The same with your strategy take profit. You could put that, say for example, at twice the 500 and the 1000. And this is there to protect you. It's what we call a drawdown limiter to prevent you from losing excessively in the pips. And it also gives you the ability to bank your profit and cap your profit so that you don't make profit and then lose it and give it all back again. For this exercise, I'm going to leave these at 5,000 as they are defaulted at 5,000 because I'm not going to be running this live. I'm just going to be creating the algorithm. So at the moment we've got the risk management set. We now need to write the algorithm for this scenario here and this scenario here. We've done the euro dollar, we've done the 15 minutes. All we need to do now is these bits here. Let me show you how to do that. We click Add Algorithm, and up comes this window here. This line that you see at the top here is where your algorithm will appear as you write it. So the first thing we need to do is we need to look at our indicators. Notice this indicator here, this box here, replicates the indicator box on X Station here. So what we need to do is click the box, and up comes a whole host of indicators that we can use within Tekton. Now I'm not going to teach you all of these indicators. That will come later when you look at the indicator series and the algorithm series on our forum and our community. But I'm just going to show you how to write the coded algorithm now. So we need to put into this box here the indicator we wish to use. We can use price alone if we need to. So this particular strategy is if the moving average, okay, we type it in and it will appear on a list, moving average, and we put in there the number of the moving average we wish to use. 50 period, and we use this to drop down the menu. Okay, so we've now got our algorithm starting to be coded now. So if the 50 moving average, we use the compare function here, which tells us what we want, where we want the moving average to be comparing to. So if the moving average 50 EMA crosses below the moving average 200, scroll down so we can see it, 200 EMA, the action, this is the action button, will be to sell. We get a little confirmation required window, click confirm, And that has written our algorithm. It took about 1 minute. That has now written that algorithm. Now at this point you can do one of many things. You can either keep it like that and you can then try to test this, or you can go back to edit it by using this function here and edit various parts of the algorithm if you want to edit it. Or you can create the buying condition. So we've now got the open sell. We now want to create the open buy. Now the open buy will be exactly the same, but the 50 moving average will cross above the 200 moving average. So we click add algorithm. Same thing again, if moving average 50, EMA, because we're using exponential, compare, crosses above the moving average 200, EMA, action is to buy. And that has created our algorithm for buying and for selling. And if we were to run that, start trading live now, every time this cross happened here or here on euro dollar on a 15-minute time frame, Tekton will place a trade for us on our live trading account with these stop loss and take profit. But you wouldn't just set that up like that. What you would want to do first of all is to test how successful this strategy would be. And Tekton allows you to do that. So the next section is we're going to show you how to backtest. Okay, so we now have created our algorithms. We've got our open sell and our open buy, and underneath you can see the actual conditions written out. Now remember, we didn't actually write this, it was actually using drop down menus. It's that simple. If you want to view them, you can by clicking there. If you want to edit them, you can by clicking there. And if you want to delete them and start again, you click there. Now before we do anything else, let's save this particular algorithm. Let's click the save and type the name in here. Let's call it moving average cross. But you can call it anything you like. Click save, and that changes the name of the strategy here. It's still in draft format, and we can put a strategy description in here, such as, for example, 15-minute time frame, euro dollar 50 crossing 200 or something like that. Anything you like, just to give you a reminder of what the strategy description is, and that will give you full control over your system. Now at this point we've got our algorithm, we've got our risk settings. One thing on risk settings, you can use the trade stop loss or the trade take profit to close each trade, or you can also put in a close sell and a close buy. What I mean by that is, for example, here, if we look at this particular charting software and we wanted to trade sell when this crossed down and keep selling until it crossed back up again, we could do so. Or we can use a specific number of pips. So when it comes to actually adding the algorithm, let me show you what I mean. So if, for example, the 50 moving average crosses above the 200 moving average, not only would that give us a new trade, because we've already written the condition for that. Okay, so if the 50 moving average crosses above the moving average, we know from the previous condition we wrote that would create a buy, but we could also say close sell. And now you've got a close sell function. So you've got an open sell if the moving average 50 crosses below the moving average 200, sell. and if the moving average 50 crosses above the moving average 200, we close the sell. So it's the opposite way round. You don't have to use the close sell or close buy function, but they are there because we've been asked to put them in. If you do use a close sell and a close buy, and it's like a trailing stop, then put the trade stop loss and trade take profit to a much higher level. Otherwise, these will take precedence over this. But I'm going to delete that one. So it's just an open sell and an open buy. When we come to do more advanced workshops, so remember, I'm going to talk to you guys weekly to answer any questions you have for free. We're going to then cover things like that and show you how things work in more detail. But this is to get you started on getting you around Tekton as a platform. So we are now going to try and do a back test. Okay, so we're going to try and do a back test now, and I'll show you exactly how that works. Okay, so back testing. What back testing is an engine that will allow Tekton to simulate every time your condition has been met, either the sell or the buy, and the trade result that would have happened from the trade being taken. Now, as you can imagine, back testing is something that can take a very, very long time. In some cases can take several hours just to do 1 day's worth of testing or 1 week's worth of testing. So with Tekton has a really rapidly fast backtesting engine. It goes back to the beginning of 2017, so it's around 3 and a bit years, and it gives you the results of every single trade that would have been taken using your conditions and the result, whether it was a win, a loss, and keeps a running total of all of the results for you, so you can look and gauge how successful your trading strategy would have been in real market conditions. And these are real market data from historical data that we have. So in order to backtest, let's just scroll down a little bit and give ourselves a bit more room. We click the Run Test button here, and we test over all data. Okay, we have 2 choices when it comes to back testing. We can back test over all of the data, that's going back to the beginning of 2017, or we can back test specific days, weeks, months, or even years. Once we've done that, and we're going to use all data for this, we click Run Test. Once we've done that, we can drop down a little bit more, click here, and this will open up our results screen, and it also opens up a running P&L chart for us as well. So what it's doing now is it's going through the previous data that we hold within Tekton of market data of what would have happened every time our condition had been met. The bars represent profit and loss. So for example, as you can see, if it was all red, it means our strategy would be in a net deficit. And if it's all green, like it is now, above the horizontal line, the horizontal axis of 0, that we are currently in a positive scenario for the trades it would have taken. It gives you a running total here, how many trades it's taken, the positive pips of profit and the negative pips of profit, the winning trades in number and the losing trades in number. And at the bottom of the screen, as you can see, it's giving us the calendar, so the dates of which it's taken trades. Now at the moment it's taken almost a year worth of testing, and it's done that in probably 30 seconds since we started testing. It is the most rapid backtesting engine in the market. I've done all my research and I've looked for backtesting engines, and this is the quickest by far. It's taking every single account of when the conditions were met on our algorithm, placing the trade and what the outcome would be. So as you can see, it's lightning quick. It's now almost coming up to halfway through 2018. So in a minute or two, or minute or so, it's back tested almost a year and a half worth of trades. And what it does is it's storing all the information, and it's going to give you at the end of this a result based on your algorithm and the success of your algorithm had you set it to run live at the beginning. So right now we're looking at over 1,000 pips worth of profit. If you was trading that at, say, $1 a pip, that's still really good profit. It's $1,000. If you're trading at $5 a pip, $5,000. But the whole point of this exercise is to show you the profitability of trades if you use them correctly once you've back tested them. And back testing is crucial to you as a professional trader. Give yourself the ability to test your strategies using real market data and back testing. Now we're up to 2019 now, so we've done well over 2 years worth of back testing so far, and we're still in a nice, healthy, profitable situation. Over 1,500 pips of profit right now. Now with back testing, I would always keep the back test running. Don't ever cancel the back test, because back testing is independent, and back testing will, if you cancel it, still want to try and run in the background. So if you're running a back test, please be patient and let it finish. If you want shorter back tests, then just change the take profit or the drawdown to a much lower number. But we'll cover more on that when we come to do some more in-depth training and answer any questions that you guys may have on a week-to-week basis. So at the moment we're up to 1,500 pips of profit. As you can see, there are peaks and troughs. No algo trading system consistently makes money, but generally speaking, this one is a nice positive upturn and a nice positive move to the upside. We're almost through 3 years worth of data now, and we're just coming up into almost 2020 now, which is the current year. So it's been running probably about 2.5 minutes. Which is phenomenal for a backtesting engine. 2.5 minutes to do 3 years worth of data is lightning quick, because it's got to go through all of the market data. You imagine how many 15-minute candles that's going through, and it's going through a 15-minute candle in lightning speed, and it's going through 15-minute candles. There are 4 of those in an hour. There are 96 of those in 1 day. So you imagine how many candles that's scanning through just to get us to a result. Now, we've got our trades button appeared here, and that means the back test is now finished. The back test is finished, and it's given us a result. 2,325 pips of profit. 429 trades, all traded algorithmically, and the winning trades in pips and the losing trades. So we've got 145 winners and 284 losers, but our risk to reward is very strong for reward compared to risk. We scroll down and we can see every single trade that it would have taken. So if you look here, we've got a loser, a loser, a loser, a winner, a winner, a winner. So the winners, as you can see, are more than 2 times the losing trade, and it gives you the date stamp of every trade. So this one gives you the 16th of September, 1515, open price, closing price, all on the live account, as you can see here. And you can go through page after page after page of these just to see exactly where you are sitting with regards to your results. And this is the back test results. Now let's say you weren't happy with that, or you wanted to just test something else. So let's say we change the parameters slightly and then now change to a different currency pair. Let's look at testing this on a different currency pair, and we'll use New Zealand dollar yen. Okay, so we're going to change from euro dollar to New Zealand dollar yen, and we're going to change to a 5-minute time frame. So we've changed the currency pair and the time frame. We're now going to run the test again and see what results that gives us. It doesn't look initially as profitable, but let's run it to see exactly what's going on. We've done 6 months already. As you can see, it's very quick. And let's see what data it gives us for the whole period of when we're finished. Okay, so we're coming to the end of 2017 already. It's looking like it's a pretty poor results so far, in my opinion. We've only got 19 winning trades, and we've got over 100 losing trades. Okay, now we know that the reward to risk is different. However, right now we've got a net negative of 1,800. So to me, this is looking like it's likely to blow out and not meet our targets at all. And it will probably stop when it gets to the 5,000, because 5,000 is where our drawdown is here. But we'll wait and we'll see. So we're looking now, it's over 3,000 pips of deficit here. So we know we wouldn't run this one live. Now that's the beautiful thing about backtesting, is if you are able to backtest and get some positive results and get some negative results, you know that with the negative results you can just shelve them and not worry about running them live at all. It's sitting there stable at the moment at minus 3,000 or thereabouts. So it's sitting there minus 3,000 approximately. But it's got to go some to really get back into profit, this one. But as you can see, for the month, or for the year of 2018, it was quite stable, whereas for the first year it was a complete loss. Okay, so a complete loss, although it's a loss in general. So when you get things like this, what you can do is you can actually just change the next test to maybe just test that 3-month period or that year period. But right now it's looking like it could be quite a poor result. So we wait for it to finish just to make sure there are not periods of positive growth in it that we can actually possibly test on its own. But what we're doing here effectively is we're just testing our strategy, our conditions, our algorithm on various different currency pairs and different time frames to see what the optimum settings for our strategy could possibly be. While we're waiting for this, you can see that, you know, we do that by clicking these various parameters here, what currency pair, what candle period, or what time periods we want to test as well. So we've got about another probably 12 months worth of data to come. It's still pushing down quite hard. It will either carry on for the whole period until the end, or if it hits a minus 5,000, and then that will stop. So right now it's at minus 4,000. So we know for sure we're not going to run this strategy on this currency pair. We're certainly going to look at running it on euro dollar on a 15-minute time frame. But in a moment I'm going to show you how you can see all of the results that you've had so far. You don't need to write them down. You don't need to make a note of the results. Tekton saves them for you. So we're now to almost 4,500. And we're coming to almost the end of the test, and it looks to me like it's one we would never consider running live. So it's almost finished. We're up to April, May and June of 2020. So consistently in a downward spiral. Once the word trades appears here, we know the backtest is finished, and our result was minus 4,360. So we don't like the look of that at all. So let's go back now and look at the history of all the other tests and see which one works best, and see if we can get a better result by editing it again. Okay, so we've now completed a couple of back tests. If we click the history of all tests here, we can see the results so far. So what the history does is it keeps a database and a dossier of the tests that you've done. If it's the test range, it will give you the range in which you've tested, i.e. what time period, 1 month, 1 year, 1 week, or whatever. The time period you've tested, 5-minute candle or 15-minute candle. The instrument, the result. Okay, and each one has its own profit and loss chart. So if you click there, you can look at the profit and loss chart for that particular strategy and that test. If you don't like the look of that, then you can go back to the euro dollar one and look at this one and see how profitable it was. You can look at the algorithm itself to see what's been going on, see if you want to tweak it and optimize it. So what we'll do now is we'll go back to euro dollar. Okay, we'll go back to 15 minutes and we'll change this to say 20 pip stop, and a 75 pip take profit. So we've got slightly lower stop loss and a slightly higher take profit than we did when we tested it previously, to see if that gives us a stronger result than 2,325. So let's click run test over all data, run test, and scroll down so you can see the charts at the bottom. So we're waiting now for this to test. As you know, it takes about a minute or two. Again, going through all of the data that we have, that we hold on this particular instrument and this particular setup. And just to remind you, this is lightning quick. You know, it's done 4 months already of testing and climbing. So it constantly back testing for you. The record I've done for back testing in 1 day is I've managed to carry out 320 back tests in 1 day, and I know some systems won't let you do 1 back test in 1 day. It's that slow. On another note, what we've done is we've tested back testing against live data, so we've run strategies live and then also back tested them as well, and it's a 99% accuracy with the back testing. The only thing that can cause a difference in a live test is any liquidity change or any price boost, if you like, through news releases or anything like that. But we found a 98% to 99% accuracy with live trading when we then back test the same period. So we live traded from March through to July, and we back tested the same strategy, the same currency pair, through March through to July in live trading and back testing, and it was 98% accuracy. So as you can see, this one's a little bit wishy-washy. It's a bit all over the place. It's not a negative, but it's certainly not a strong positive for the first sort of year and a half. Although saying that, if a strategy that you backtest shows positivity for the last year or last few months and sort of slight sort of sideways movement for the first period of the first year or two, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just shows you generally it's positive, and right now recently it's shown very good signs of growth. So right now it's sort of showing peaks. It's showing you a peak here and a peak here. So this at the moment is just sort of in a slightly lower area, and it's only a couple of 100 pips up at the moment. So this is using euro dollar 15-minute chart on a 20 pip stop and a 75 pip take profit. So this is what you're going to get used to when you're trading with Tekton, is the back testing. The back testing is very, very lucrative, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a strategy that we created a while back on this account and show you how successful that's been. Right now it's pushing up a bit higher, up to 500 pips plus. We've got about 16 to 17 months of growth to come. So as you can see, for the year of 2019 here, it's been quite positive. Let's see what it does for the rest of the period. It's certainly a lot higher now than it was before. And the beautiful thing about back testing is it gives you the reassurance that you've got a positive strategy, but you also remember at the back of your head that you do have peaks and troughs as well. But that's the whole glorified thing about algo trading, is you won't be watching this. You need to sort of log in every few days or so to make sure things are working. And if you want to log in less than that, then you can have even tighter drawdown controls. But again, we will cover more on all of that sort of stuff when we do the weekly sessions. What today is all about is getting you familiar with the environment, how it works, how things work. And so by the time you finish with this session, you'll know what everything is on Tekton, where it is, what it does, and how it works. And then the best way to get used to it in more in tune with your own knowledge and understanding is to play with it and use it. So now we're up to April 2020. I don't think we're going to beat the previous record, but we're certainly going to be in profit. As you can see, beginning of 2019 to now has been quite good. It's quite a good result. In fact, it's well over 1,500 pips right now. It's a result of 1,500 pips. 1,540 pips worth of profit, which is pretty good. Okay, it's pretty good. Not as good as the previous result, but certainly still a positive result when compared to Kiwi yen. So that's how you would backtest a strategy. That's how you could backtest a strategy and then edit it on different currency pairs. So for example, you might want to go on Euro CAD. You might want to go on another strategy. Let's say we pick dollar yen, for example. Let's pick dollar yen and we'll trade it on a 1 minute time frame. Let's see what that does for us. So click 1 minute and run the test on dollar yen. And here we go. So every candle is a 1 minute candle. It's looking like it's going to be pretty poor again. As we can see, it's really going to the downside quite hard. So the chances are this is going to bottom out at the 5,000 level, and as we've got that set here, and then just stop the test. Right, let's let it take nature take its course. Which it probably will do in a very short space of time. Next few seconds, I would have thought. And there we go, it's stopped. So it's bottomed out at 5,000. So not every strategy works on every currency pair. But I'm going to come to that in a moment about some strategies that we've been running that work differently on different pairs using different instruments. But the whole purpose of today is to get you familiar with Tekton, get you familiar with how it works, get you familiar with how the creation works of the algo, which you've seen, how the risk settings work with the algo. In a moment I'll show you how the risk trade tool works to work out your CFD size, and also how the back testing works, okay, and how you can edit the strategy to get yourself a different test result. But the history of all tests is key. As you build up a dossier of results, you can see for yourself where the better ones lie. Okay, welcome to our website. This is the Powered by Tekton website. On here, there's two very valuable pieces of information for you. First of all, we have the education side of things. So it will show you about the think it, build it, test it, trade it, how to think of a strategy, how to build it, how to test it, and how to set it to run live. Also, you have links to our community and various areas of algo trading to keep you updated with what's going on to help you get started and continue your progress. One of the learning aspects is trading tools here. Trading tools. So if we go to the Learn tab and down to Trading Tools, this opens up another section of our website called the Trade Size Calculator. Now, the Trade Size Calculator gives you the ability to calculate your CFD size, and the CFD size is what goes in this little box here. So this is how we do it. We first of all select the currency of our account, which is probably going to be dollars. The account balance at the beginning of the strategy. So let's say we put in $1,000. Here we put in percentage terms the risk we want to make on each trade. Now I have to assume that you are all experienced traders. If you aren't an experienced trader, then you need to take the Trading for Beginners workshop to understand what happens after here. Like is if you've not followed anything on this particular workshop, it means that you aren't really somebody who's been trading before and you are a beginner and you need to get educated first. Tekton is for people that do have an understanding of trading and what to do and how to do it. It then automates it all for you. So risk management is important. I would never go more than 0.5% risk on your strategy or any strategy, because that controls your risk. I'd go lower if you were able to. Your stop loss in pips is the same number that is in this box here. For this example, it's 20. And in here, we put the currency pair we wish to trade. Okay, so we are going to use it on euro dollar. If you remember, the results are euro dollar for the best result we had there. So we go back to the currency pair there. It's set at euro dollar. Let's just make sure it goes back to euro dollar when we go back. euro dollar, and calculate. Okay, so that's going to calculate our risk. Okay, and that's telling us we are able to trade at 0.03 CFDs. So that would then go into this box here. It has no bearing on back testing. Risk management has no bearing on back testing. It's only for when you trade and run live, which I'll show you how to do in a moment. So what we have done is we have used, obviously we need to change that to euro dollar, we've used a risk management tool to decide what our trade sizing is. If you didn't change the CFD, when this would trade, it may take more margin than required and you should be using to place the trade for you because your trade sizing is incorrect. So trade sizing is important, and using a trade size calculator will let you do it. Now let's say, for example, we didn't have 20 pips and we had 32, and we were trading the same strategy on, say, let's say pick another pair, dollar CAD. What we would need to do now is we need to go in here and change our stop loss to 32 and change the currency pair to dollar CAD. It's now asking us to give the price for dollar CAD because we're now using a currency that is missing from our equation. So just pop over to your trading platform, look for the dollar CAD price 131.97, which is there. Put that in there, 131.97, and calculate, and that's now 0.02. So in there you would write 0.02, and that would trade size effectively for you. Now, just as a play devil's advocate here, if we change that to 2197, which is 1,000 pips, it doesn't really make a blind difference to the trade size. Even if we went to 14197, 4197. Okay, it's got to move by a long way to change the risk management size. Okay, it's got to move a long way. It's got to move nearly 6,000 pips for you to change the trade size. So don't worry if you get this little bit slightly wrong. This will only vary by a very small amount. So the trade size, we go back to the correct setting, 131.97. Is 0.02. So whatever currency pair you are going to trade, refer back to the Tekton trade size calculator for yourself to actually get you the right size for your trading. And bookmark it here, as we showed you earlier. Bookmark all of your website URLs so you know where to log in to Tekton, where your CCI traders login is, where Powered by Tekton is as well, and also the forum as well for yourself. Okay, so I've shown you now how to create algorithms using moving averages and creating algorithms using other indicators or a combination of indicators is very simple. You just follow the onboard directions. If you want to use a moving average and a Bollinger Band, for example, you just type the moving average levels, and then instead of writing compare, you type and. Let me show you. So for example, you say if moving average 10 EMA crosses above moving average 50 EMA, it only gives you the functions you're allowed to use. So you could say and price is greater than the Bollinger Band upper. So you're using indicators to create your algos, including other indicators as well. Okay, so now if moving average 10 EMA crosses above moving average 50 and price is above the Bollinger Band 22 upper, the action could be to buy. And that's added that condition to your algorithm. But you don't want to have two open sells or two open buys. That's just to give you an example of how to write it. So the open buy there is written along there. So delete that, click save. And that's really shown you how to create your algorithm, create the risk management settings in conjunction with our trade size calculator, and also how to save the strategy as well, and how to view the back tests, and how to edit the strategy or the algorithm if you want to. All that remains for me to show you in this first session, and I've covered most of the things you need to know, is how to start trading. And all of this counts for nothing if you don't start trading live. So once you've ensured you've got the risk management set correctly, and you're happy with things, and you've got the right currency pair set and the right candle period set, you will then want to set the trade to run live. Let's change that back to 15 minutes. And now we click Start Trading. Once you click Start Trading, you're given options. You can either click Allow Overnight Trading or trade for specific hours. Some traders prefer just to have their algos running for the working day. Some traders prefer to have them running 24 hours per day. It is your preference. That is the reason why we've given you the option. If you trade specific hours and put here 8 AM and 8 PM, no algos will execute outside of those times. If there is an algo running at one of these time periods ends, it won't close out, but it will not take any more until the next open time here. Myself personally, I trade 24 hours a day, so I allow overnight trading, but I also make sure this is ticked and make sure this is green. Whenever you select any of these options, you are still able to trade manually. Don't think that this is the only way you can trade. CCI is a great company. We've got some great workshops lined up for people that want to learn about trading as a standalone product, and how to trade and how to build strategies, etc. You guys are using Tekton, and you're going to be getting weekly workshops on how to use it and how to get the best from it. But okay, so once you click the Start Trading, your strategy will then be set to running here. So you can see moving average cross, running, euro dollar, current P&L, overall P&L, and the candle minute period 15 minutes. This will actually update. This time here will update when you next log in. It will only log to January the 1st to start with. Once you re-log in again, it will give you the start date as the current start date that you've just started it. Now if you try to edit this strategy, it will give you an error message to say that you are unable to edit a strategy while it is running live. You are unable to do that because it will change the strategy settings that Tekton has provided to CCI. So if you need to edit anything, you would need to stop the strategy first before editing. So you can view it. So you can view it by clicking the View button, and you can then look down here to see the various settings that you've got on here, including your descriptions and notes, etc. Now if you want to replicate this and test this on another currency pair, you are able to duplicate the strategy by clicking this button here. Clicking Duplicate, it will ask you if you want to duplicate this strategy. Click Confirm, and it will duplicate the strategy for you, and it won't interrupt with the one that's already running, and you can then start to test other strategies or other pairs or other versions of it using other currency pairs, and that won't change anything with regards to the one you've got running. There's the moving average cross running one, and underneath is the duplicate one. Now what you can do is just change the name of it just to V2, so you know you've got one is the running one and this one is version 2. You might want to export this. To export is to send it to somebody. So if you exported this and clicked copy, you could copy this unique code and send it on email to somebody like myself if you want me to check your strategy for you, or to another user. You can copy and export and import any strategy you like using the duplicate, export or import function. It really is a very intuitive and very innovative system, and I'm delighted to be able to offer it to CCI traders to use this moving forward. And that really is all you need to know about Tekton. It's a case of just playing with it, learning what the indicators do, and as you are an experienced trader, use moving averages first of all, because they're quite simple to use. You can use Bollinger Bands, you can use Commodity Channel Index. There is a strategy that I wanted to share with you, which is this one, the Commodity Channel Index strategy. And we can log into this quite easy because it's not running, so we can click Edit and have a look at some of our results that we've been getting on this one. This is the Australian dollar, US dollar, using a commodity channel index. A commodity channel index is a line that moves up and down that shows oversold and overbought levels. If we look at the history of all tests, we can see we had some great results earlier on this. 2,700 pips of profit there, 2,500 pips of profit there. So it's given us a good, strong result on the Australian dollar. Now we can just try and drop this down to 15 minutes. Actually no, we won't. We'll go up to say 30 minutes just to test it on the 30 minute, because these have all been done on 15 minutes. Actually we've done 30 minutes as well. So let's go up to 1 hour. We've done that. So let's go down to 5 minutes. So we've done all the other tests time period wise. Let's test this on a 5-minute time frame. So let's click Run Test. Test over all data. Click Run Test, and let's see the results that we get for this particular strategy. So this is using the Commodity Channel Index on the Australian dollar, US dollar. And if you want to look at other strategies, look at our community and our forum, where you can actually look at that on the index at the back of this Tekton platform, where it says community, and you're able to then go to our community and get some strategies that already exist out there that are back tested strong and people are making good returns with. So this one, as you can see, is up to 800 pips of profit so far after just 6 months. So it's pushing up quite nicely. Pulled back a little bit there. Back testing is so much fun. It's so simple to do. It's so intuitive. It's so fast as well. There's no delays with back testing. It's giving you a good strong result. We've been running this one for just about a minute so far, and it's almost up to a year worth of data so far. And it's 1,000 pips or thereabouts right now. It's pushing up above that now. And it really gives you the confidence that you're going to set strategies up that make some good returns. This one is a 1-to-1 reward to risk, 25 pip stop, 25 pip target, but it's got a much stronger winning ratio. It's far higher than 50%. So with a 1-to-1, you want a greater than 50% success rate. So this one's got a greater than 50% success rate at the moment. It's pulling back a little bit now. It's flattening off a little bit. But that's the beautiful thing about algo systems and Tekton specifically, is you are able to see exactly where the peaks and the troughs are, and then adjust the strategy to suit and play around with it till it gets to the desired results that you want. None of this is costing you any money. It's all a simple program to use, simple platform to use, and will give you so much more emotion-free trading and less time to spend in front of your charts and more time to do the things you want to do with your life and spend time with your family, which is exactly why CCI traders have taken this from us, because CCI traders formed partnership with us to take Tekton. It's pulled back quite a bit there, but you wouldn't have known had you not actually placed the back test, and you could have set this to run live and seen all the profit go ding 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 down. So here it's gone up quite nicely, but it's still quite a bit of time to go. There's still probably 18 months worth of data there to come, but it's still pushing data through. But certainly for the first year or so, it gave us strong results on this particular commodity channel index. And a commodity channel index just measures oversold and overbought levels on the marketplace. And again, there's a whole section on commodity channel index on our community. Okay, so 275 pips. So this is where the take profit strategy, take profit, would have been very useful. Had you set that at say 1500 or whatever it was, it would have closed out and it wouldn't have taken any more trades once it got to the top level here. And now it's in a deficit. So it's amazing how backtesting can really give you a clear indication as to how successful a trading strategy could be. This one had a great result for the first year or so. For the second year and third year, it's possibly pulled down quite hard, and then for the year of 2020, it's not producing very good results at all. In fact, it's producing quite bad results. So this is the whole beautiful thing about Tekton, and how you can use it to your advantage and just play around with the settings, play around with your trading strategies, so you know exactly what's what. So as you can see, trades are all there. And if we look at the history of all tests, we know that this strategy does not perform well on a 5-minute chart. It performs best on a 15-minute chart there with those settings. 15-minute chart with a 30 pip stop and a 20 pip target. So it's slightly more inverse, but looking through the history of tests, you can see that it has a better result on this one here, 30 and 20. So you would go back to there, you would change this to 30 because that works best, 20, 15-minute chart. Run the test once more just to confirm you're okay with it. Wait for the results to start coming through and see what the result is. We know it's already said 2,730. And if we're then happy with that and you want to maybe test other pairs, you can, or you might just want to get that running live, in which case you know how to do that as well. It's pushing up quite nicely now. It's pushing up quite strong. There you go, nice sudden spurt there of movement up to almost 2,000. So we can see this particular one has a very, very good, strong, positive return. And that's all down to the power of Tekton. Power of Tekton giving you the ability to check which parameters work which are best on which currency pairs. So I hope you've understood everything today. I mean, you're going to be able to get this and watch this again on recording. So various bits that you're going to cover off. We're going to do weekly meetings and weekly sessions where you can contact us and we can answer your questions. I happily jump on a call with any of you or Skype to give you the ability to answer any questions that you might have. But Tekton is there for you to use. Tekton is there to help you trade better, trade more with emotional baggage attached to it, so you can actually do this at the ease and time that's suitable to yourself, and really get to grips with how Tekton can really give your trading a real edge. So congratulations for watching, and we'll jump over and answer any questions if there are any.